Most people don't realize this, but there's a small group of us out here who've tested hundreds of cheap fragrances. We've lived through the hype trains, the blind buy fails, the reformulations, and after years in the trenches, I can tell you, there are certain budget fragrances that just hit. Fragrances you can wear day in, day out, and they never get old. They don't just smell good for the price. They smell addictive, luxurious, timeless. These are the everyday warriors of the fragrance world, the ones you'll actually finish bottles of. Let's get into 15 of the best cheap fragrances that I personally never get tired of. And no, this isn't just another top 10 filled with the same clones. This is a true fragheads list. Let's start with number 1. First Afnon 9 AM. This is clean confidence in a bottle if you've ever smelled Ultra Male and thought, love it, but it's too thick for summer. 9 AM fixes that. You still get that fruity aromatic opening, apple, lemon, a bit of cinnamon. But it's dialed in. Brighter, smoother, and much more wearable in heat. It's one of those scents that makes you feel instantly more put together, like you just got out of the shower and threw on a perfectly fitted white t-shirt. I've worn this to coffee shops, running errands, casual lunches. Every single time, I get compliments. It lasts all day, it projects clean, and it just never gets annoying. Some fragrances wear you out after a week. This one wears in. One of the most reliable daily freshies I own, hands down. Latifa Khamrah. Now we're shifting gears into cozy, seductive territory. Comra has been hyped as a clone of Angel's Share by Kilian, but what people don't talk about is how wearable this thing is. Most spicy gourmands are heavy, syrupy, and lean too far into winter-only territory. Comra somehow walks the line perfectly. Warm cinnamon, a little praline sweetness, and this gorgeous ambery dry down that smells luxurious but approachable. I wear this on chill days when I want to feel wrapped up in comfort. You don't have to wait for date night to pull it out. It works for everyday use in colder weather, especially if you want a scent that feels cozy but still sexy. And let's not ignore the performance, beast mode. 2 sprays and it's with you all day. No fatigue, no oversaturation, just rich, spicy confidence. Rasi Hawas. This is one of those rare fragrances that you never outgrow. The Invictus comparison is valid. Sure, it's fruity, aquatic, a little sweet. But Hawas doesn't smell like a club. It smells like a beach house. Salty air, apple, musk, a bit of plum and amber in the background to smooth it all out. It's energetic without being juvenile. What's crazy is how often I reach for this. Spring? Perfect. Summer? Even better. Warm fall days? Still hits. It's an all-day freshie with enough personality to be interesting and enough smoothness to never be cloying. If I had to pick one fragrance under $40 to wear every day in warm weather for the next year, Hawas is top of the list. And trust me, it gets compliments like you wouldn't believe. Alh Haram Laventur. Yeah, this one's loud. Aggressive even. But sometimes that's exactly what you want. Laventur is Alh Haramain's answer to Aventus. But make no mistake, this is not a soft-spoken clone. This is Aventus turned up to 11. Sharper citrus, punchier pineapple, a more metallic edge in the opening. It announces your presence. Now, I'll be honest, this is not a cozy, snuggle-up scent, but it's unbeatable when you want to project confidence. I wear this when I need to switch gears into get-it-done mode. Job interviews, important meetings, travel days. This is the scent equivalent of a strong handshake and direct eye contact. And once it dries down, it smooths out beautifully into a masculine, woody base that keeps things grounded. If you love Aventus but wish it had more edge for everyday wear, this is your move. Maison Alhamra Philos Rosso. This one's criminally underrated. Philos Rosso smells like the love child of YSL and Bleu de Chanel. Professional, fresh, and modern, but with a touch of sweetness and spice to keep things interesting. You spray it on and instantly feel like the guy who has his life together. Not loud, not trying to flex, just clean, calm, and confident. What makes this one special is how seamlessly it fits into any situation. Business lunch? Check. First date? Check. Grocery run in a hoodie? Still works. It's got that refined vibe that doesn't demand attention but still turns heads when people get close. And you know what? It's the kind of fragrance that actually smells better the more you wear it. 1 week in and it's good. 1 month in and it might just be your signature. Paris Corner Wild Neroli. Imagine stepping out of a cold shower on a hot summer morning and throwing open the windows to the sea breeze. That's Wild Neroli. It's bright, sparkling, and breezy. But unlike so many Neroli-based fragrances, this one doesn't vanish in 10 minutes. It opens with a burst of lemon and Neroli that feels almost fizzy, but then settles into a soft, musky base that lingers just long enough to keep things interesting. This one's perfect for hot days, especially when you don't want to feel like you're wearing fragrance. It just makes you smell naturally clean and expensive. Think Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino, but way more wearable and at a fraction of the price. And here's a pro move. Store the bottle in your fridge and hit yourself with 2 chilled sprays on a hot afternoon. Game changer. The Armaf Tres Nuit. If I had $1 for every time someone slept on Armaf Tres Nuit, I'd have enough to buy Creed Green Irish Tweed. But I wouldn't, because this right here is one of the few clones that doesn't just imitate, it competes. Tres Nuit is what I call the gentleman's green machine. Fresh, sharp, and straight up elegant. It opens with lemon verbena and iris, which gives it this airy, green floral bite that smells way more expensive than it is. Seriously, this thing could easily pass as a designer fragrance in the $150 range. The dry down settles into a musky, slightly woody base with just enough smoothness to make it wearable year-round. It's clean, classic, and sophisticated without ever feeling dated. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the performance isn't nuclear. You're looking at 6 to 7 hours, maybe a bit more on clothes, but honestly, that's part of why it works so well. You can spray it heavy without choking anyone out. It's perfect for daytime wear, especially in spring or fall. I've worn this to weddings, brunches, and even as a backup when traveling. It never offends and somehow always gets compliments from women who appreciate subtlety over spice bombs. If you've ever wanted to smell like James Bond after a countryside drive, this is your bottle. Afnan Supremacy. Not only intense. Okay, so if you've been in the frag game even a little while, you already know about Supremacy. Not only intense. It's Afnan's take on Aventus, but with an important twist. It doesn't just mimic the king, it elevates the experience. And unlike most Aventus clones, this one doesn't fall apart after the opening. The first spray? Smoky pineapple, citrus, and that familiar punch of birch. It hits like Aventus in its prime. But here's the key, not only intense leans more mysterious. More incense, less fruity gloss, and more masculine grit. That makes it perfect for guys who want something bold and confident, but not overly sweet or juvenile. Now performance. This is where it blows most of the competition out of the water. Easy 10 to 12 hours, sometimes more, with strong projection in the first 3 to 4. I've had this one on in meetings, casual dinners, and even long-haul flights, and it's still going strong after the seatbelt sign comes on. It's not an everyday scent for everyone. But if you're the type who likes to make a statement and enjoys that Aventus vibe with a darker twist, this is a beast that never gets boring. Latifa Assad. Now let me tell you, this one was a surprise hit for me. When I first heard people calling it a Dior Sauvage Elixir clone, I thought, okay, let's see. But wow, Latifa Assad is not only close, it might actually be more wearable than the Elixir itself. Where Sauvage Elixir leans deep, spicy, and almost overwhelming at times, Asad smooths out the rough edges. It still gives you that lavender spice-drenched masculine aura, but it's wrapped in a slightly sweeter, more rounded base. Think less barbershop, more candle-lit lounge with leather chairs and old jazz playing. Now make no mistake, this is a strong scent. One spray too many, and it will fill a room. But done right, it's the kind of fragrance that sticks with you all day, and people remember it. I've worn this for winter date nights, evening events, and even layered it under a cashmere sweater for a little extra heat. It holds up beautifully. And the best part? It smells like a power move. For under 30 bucks. Paris Corner Emir Valiant. Alright, if you haven't heard of Valiant yet, you're in for a treat. This hidden gem from Paris Corner's Emir line is their take on Nishane Hasivat. And it's one of the best interpretations I've found that doesn't just scream clone. The opening is crisp pineapple, bergamot, and citrus. Classic bright chypre territory, but Valiant smooths that out with creamy woods and a slightly sweet backbone that makes it more versatile than most freshies. Hasivat itself can lean a little sharp, a little high-pitched. Valiant keeps all the character, but tones it into something you'll actually want to wear every day. Performance? Insane. Easily 8 to 10 hours with a scent trail that turns heads without shouting. It's clean, powerful, and feels rich. You could throw this on with a white t-shirt, or pair it with a blazer and feel right at home either way. I reach for this when I want that elegant citrus vibe without falling back on Aventus again. It's refined, energetic, and just classy all the way through. On Barinci Armaf Club de Nuit Siage, if Tres Nuit is Armaf's hidden gentleman, Siage is their smooth operator. This is Armaf's take on Creed Silver Mountain Water, and let me tell you, it's shockingly addictive. You don't expect a fresh scent to smell this luxurious. Siage starts off with a fresh burst of blackcurrant, bergamot, and violet leaf. Super clean, slightly fruity, with a metallic edge that gives it uniqueness. But the best part? The dry down. That's where it gets creamy, musky, and oh so smooth. There's a tea note in there that adds a calming, spa-like vibe, but not in a soft or boring way. It smells like you just walked out of a luxury resort with not a care in the world. It's one of those fragrances that feels like a personal scent bubble. People smell it on you when they get close, and it smells expensive. Not loud, not brash, just high class. For spring, early summer, even indoors in winter, It works almost any time. If you want an everyday fragrance that makes you feel like a clean, confident CEO on vacation, this is it. Latifa Rave Now Intense. You want a cheap scent that smells like YSL YEDP with extra bite? Here it is. Rave Now Intense is one of those rare finds that not only gets close to a designer scent, it makes it more fun to wear. It opens with apple, bergamot, and a sharp metallic freshness that cuts through the air. And then, boom! You get this slightly sweet, slightly spicy backbone that screams modern masculinity. It's youthful but polished, energetic without being chaotic. Great balance, and it performs. I've worn this to the gym, to run errands, even just lounging around, and it lasts. The scent bubble isn't overpowering, but it hangs there, and you'll catch whiffs of it all day. It's one of the best dumb reach fragrances I own. You can throw it on any time and feel instantly fresher, sharper, and more put together. Honestly, if you're a fan of that modern blue scent profile but you don't want to spend $150 on YSL or Dior, this one is absolutely worth grabbing. And the bottle looks way more premium than its price tag suggests. The Afnan Turathi Blue. If you've ever wished Bleu de Chanel had a little more punch for the price, Afnon Turathi Blue is your answer. This thing is an absolute sleeper hit. It opens fresh and citrusy, bergamot, grapefruit, that classic aromatic rush, but there's something deeper happening underneath. It's like Bleu de Chanel got a little bolder, a little woodier, and grew some extra backbone. The dry down is what really seals the deal. It has this smoky amber wood base that gives it maturity. It's smooth, masculine, and lasts a solid 8+ hours with no problem. I've worn this to work, to weddings, even on a summer date, and it always lands. What I love is that it smells familiar but still has its own character. It's not a direct clone, it's more like a remix. And honestly, it might be more fun to wear than the original. You can blind buy this one with total confidence. Designer DNA, high-end presentation, but for the price of a pizza and a drink. Latifa Fakhar Black. Now this one doesn't get nearly enough love. Latifa Fakhar Black is basically what you'd get if Armani Stronger With You and the 1EDP had a love child, but raised it in Dubai. It's warm, spicy, a little sweet, and ridiculously smooth. It leans seductive but stays wearable for daily use, especially in cooler months. What makes Fakhar Black so addicting is the way it evolves. You get this rich, spicy sweet opening, but then it mellows into this cozy, masculine skin scent that feels super refined. I've worn this for nights out, cold morning errands, even just chilling at home, and it never smells boring. And again, we're talking $25 for a scent that smells like it came out of a luxury department store. This is the kind of fragrance you reach for when you want to smell seductive but still serious. No teenage candy shop vibes here, just mature magnetic charm. Paris Corner Pendora Onyx. Now, if you've been chasing ombre leather vibes without dropping over $150, you need to know about Pendora Onyx. This thing is rugged, smooth, and surprisingly wearable. It gives you that deep leather right from the start, but it's blended with a violet amber combo that softens the edges and makes it perfect for daily wear. This isn't a biker bar leather. It's modern, polished, and smells like someone who knows their taste and doesn't need to shout about it. I throw this on when I'm rocking darker fits. Black tee, boots, maybe a denim jacket. It adds that final layer of confidence. It's masculine, no question, but in a very wearable, refined way. And you'd be shocked how many compliments I've gotten on this for something that costs under $30. Great for cooler weather or date nights when you want to stand out without going loud. Here's the thing. Every single fragrance on this list isn't just good for the price. They're good, period. These are the scents I actually wear, not just for testing, not just to pad out a shelf. These are the daily drivers, the ones I reach for without hesitation, because I know they deliver on performance, compliments, and versatility. And the best part? You don't need a designer budget to smell like you belong in a penthouse suite or behind the wheel of something German and fast. These are smart buys, zero regret territory. If you're building a fragrance collection on a budget, or just want something new that smells incredible without burning a hole in your wallet, you honestly can't go wrong with any of these. I've dropped links in the description to all the best clone and affordable options I talked about, direct to the bottles that I trust. These are from sellers and sources I'd recommend to any guy who wants to build a collection the right way, one affordable masterpiece at a time. Because smelling like a gentleman doesn't mean spending like one. It just means knowing what to reach for. And now, you do. Stick around. There's another clone breakdown coming up that you don't want to miss.